I'm Dr. Friedman. I'm director of the Psychological Services Center, which is the training clinic that we have for the graduate clinical psychology students, where they get their practical training in how to conduct psychotherapy and psychological assessment. The clinic is set up for people in the community so that the training for the students can be very broad-based. I'm from Burbank, California. I'm one of the few native Californians in the world. Let's see. Burbank was a very suburban, non-diverse, middle-class kind of community, and I grew up just kind of longing for, more variety and color and taste, and it was I would describe it as a very bland kind of community, so I'm happy to be in a much more mixed urban environment. I went to UCLA and I majored in psychology. At that time, the psychology classes were lecture halls of about 300 people, and it was a pretty impersonal kind of education, and I liked UCLA, but the psychology education, because it was so big and so anonymous, was not that great for me. I preferred the smaller classes, which tended to be outside of psychology, political science, and history, and those kind of classes. And then graduate school, I went to one of the first professional schools in psychology. At that time, it was the California School of Professional Psychology. It's since changed to Alliant University at International University, I think it's called now. Yeah, I loved my graduate school experience. There was lots of different kinds of classes and learning. It was very dynamic. Everything we did was interesting for me. The fellow students were from all over the country, and it was the first time I really had encountered New Yorkers, who seemed like another kind of species. But I really enjoyed the mix of students. They too were very dynamic and interested, and very passionate about all variety of doing psychotherapy and learning about psychology. After graduation, and I was in school in San Diego, I took a position in a community mental health center on the inpatient unit in Fall River, Massachusetts. And I met my former husband, who was living in New York, and he was a native St. Louisan. And if you know native St. Louisans, wherever they live, they want to go home. So having that attitude toward the Midwest that you see from the East Coast and the West Coast, I thought it was only something to fly over to get someplace else. When I came to St. Louis, I was really delighted. I thought it was like architecturally very beautiful and very interesting, and a lot of interesting little neighborhoods. So that's how I got to St. Louis, and then I worked in several different positions here, ended up taking an interim position as clinic director at UMSL, and then when this job opened up in 1994, I applied for it and happily was selected. Yes, I really come to like the Midwest. I like the slow pace, and it's easy, and California's great, but everything is 3 hours away driving. It's really, kind of day-to-day difficult, and St. Louis for me has that balance of it's easy, you can navigate it, you can get around, you don't have to pay a fortune in parking for anything, and it also has just like so many interesting things going on, which it takes a long time to find. It has been my experience, but it's there, and I'm just moving into Benton Park now, and that's like a whole other world. Benton Park, Cherokee Street. I didn't even know they were there. So it's always fun to find new things in St. Louis for me. the emphasis on service and not just learning to make money and for your own self-aggrandizement, that foundation I find really runs through the university, and that's made it a really good place to be. SLU's got so many different things going on that just is always wonderful. You know, the Center for Global, I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, the Center for Global Citizenship.
Citizenship, that's it. You know, they have a lot of programming. They have an amazing, you know, food place with international cuisine. There's speakers coming on. There's just always like such a interesting, you know, mix. And I do love being in a place that has a really strong intellectual tradition. That's just, to me, the foundation for keeping things exciting and dynamic. There's always more to learn, and I love being around people that you can learn from. There's an osmosis effect, you know, just kind of being around them, you kind of automatically learn things. No, I don't do research. My position is very unique in the university. I effectively operate a clinic, which is kind of more like running a small business within an academic department. So the standard things that academics do, I don't do. I don't research. I'm not teaching presently. I'm doing a lot of administration, program development, funding development, and I do some supervision as part of my work with students. Well, the challenge at present is we're shifting to an electronic medical record system. So not being as electronically savvy as 20-year-olds, that's really quite a challenge for me to learn how to navigate, you know, what seems like a complex system online. It really isn't, but I'm trying to shift from understanding the system from the 100-page written PDF manual that I downloaded to learning how one clicks around and determines how things operate. So that would be a major challenge for me. Another one is that we currently don't have an administrative assistant, so I have to figure out how to cover her activities while running the clinic too. So that's a temporary challenge, but one that's pretty consuming at the moment. And then the other challenges that I really love, and one of the reasons I love my position, is always trying to learn and grow in terms of bettering my understanding of supervision and delivering psychological services, and looking for opportunities to both fund students and give them good training opportunities. So for example, one of the newer movements in clinical psychology is for psychologists to be embedded in healthcare systems and deliver psychological services that enhance health generally. So we have a couple of new projects where we're doing that, and I'm real excited about that. I have another ongoing grant project where we provide psychological services to ex-offenders who are in a job development agency, and I feel really passionate and good about that because I feel like it's just so immensely helpful. People who can get jobs, can stay out of prison, can start to have some stability in their lives, and we're like really integral in helping that process. My favorite part of my job is hands down working with the clinical students. They're open, they're energetic, they're bright, they're always learning new things, and I learn from them. They absorb like sponges. And, you know, I don't know if this is clinical psychology or Midwest or some combination, but they're really nice people, and they're very committed to trying to make the world a better place, to make life better for the clients that they serve. to improve the world through the research they conduct. So it's very I don't know, exciting and energizing to be around such energy and feel that I'm part of kind of the next generation going forward, you know, really working in keeping with our Jesuit mission to make the world a better place.